My name is Hachiro Wang. My family and I were living a terrible life in Japan. We knew that we needed to get out and find a better life as soon as possible. So we decided to take a giant ship to a different country. So many people were on board and it was very uncomfortable. But we knew that eventually it would be worth it. We arrived at some place called America. It was very beautiful and we knew that we'd be more successful and happy there. My wife and I got jobs in the business industry. She worked as a factory girl and I owned a clothing store. We were becoming richer and richer as time went on. Slowly but surely, we were definitely going to be successful. Our family was very happy in America. We felt free without the oppression that we faced in Japan on a daily basis. All was finally perfect. Suddenly, something happened that marked one of the worst days of our lives. The day was December 7th, 1941. Our old country, Japan, bombed Pearl Harbor in Hawaii of the United States. So many lives were lost in the attack. After the attack, everything changed. Japan was the enemy country of the United States. We thought that it would not affect us because we were loyal to the United States as Japanese Americans. However, we were completely wrong. The white Americans were extremely mean to us Japanese Americans. They would call us the enemy and would shun us from their lives. We were extremely discriminated against. We tried to explain to them that we were just as loyal to America as they were. However, they did not believe us, and the discrimination got worse as time went on. When I returned home from work one night, I saw a note taped on our front door. It told me that my family had to be evacuated at once. The next day, cops arrived at our house. They told us that we had 24 hours to destroy all of our possessions that signified our Japanese heritage. In other words, we had to burn our memories to the ground. Some of the possessions we destroyed were our photo album, my wife's kimono, and then we sold the family car. When the officials came back to my home to evacuate my family, I tried to resist the powerful cops because I was afraid of where they were taking us. The officials crammed many of us inside onto a tiny bus and told us they were relocating us to a special camp due to the attack. When my family and I arrived at the internment camp, we were ordered to register into the camp. We could only bring necessary items such as clothes, so we only had one suitcase. After we registered, we had to find our luggage in the massive crowd. When we finally got to see the internment camp, we knew our lives had changed for the worse. The camp was extremely crowded. They had barbed wire fencing us in so we couldn't escape, and there were bugs, such as cockroaches, everywhere. Life here was very difficult, and the days lasted forever. My children were very unhappy. I felt bad that they had to suffer in these horrible camps. It was terrible to see them so depressed. The food that we had to eat was vile. For instance, the meat was sometimes rotten. It was nothing like the meat that we ate at our home. It did not follow the standards of Japanese meat. The other bad part about the food is that we did not have enough to eat. They would ration the food to save money, making us very hungry. We started to assimilate to American culture, partially by force. They would make us hold American flags, for instance, so that everyone knew that we were loyal to America. We started to look on the bright side of things, however. We knew that we were not leaving the camps anytime soon, so we made the best of our time here. We would have fun dancing with our family and new friends. Also, people here created fun programs such as sports teams. We actually had a fun time being competitive and relieving our stress. There were also jobs that were offered to us. They weren't the best jobs, but it was better than nothing. It was starting to feel a bit more like our home in the United States. Just as we got used to the internment camps, we received amazing news. We were being let free. My family and I hugged each other in joy. The war was over and Americans everywhere were celebrating.